Hey guys, today we're going to work on my welt pockets for the Greestyle bomber jacket. So when you get your pattern pieces, there will be little templates for the front of the jacket and then the pocket. And you're going to lay the front of the pocket onto the front of the jacket, right sides together, and line up that rectangle. I'm going to take some pins and I'm going to just place them at the corners just so I can make sure that everything stays lined up. And I'm just going to make sure, just going to check underneath just to see. And then after, we're going to sew that rectangle. If you've ever done any sort of welt zipper pocket, is very much the same process. So we're going to go over and sew that rectangle all the way around. When we get to our corners, we're going to stop, lift your presser foot, pivot your fabric, and then go to the next corner and do the same thing. We're going to make sure that we get those corners nice and sharp. Depending on your fabric, this is going to be, of course, better than others. This fabric isn't the best when it comes to welt pockets. Doesn't have a lot of structure to it. But I still think it came out pretty good. So next we're going to slit open that rectangle. So I just folded my fabric in half, cut it with my scissors, and then I'm going to cut towards the end of the rectangle, and I'm going to cut a triangle, and I'm going to make it like a nice big triangle because I want a big piece of fabric right there so I can hold on to. So I'm just going to cut down probably about a ½ inch away and then cut into each corner as close as you can get to the thread without cutting the thread. Now we're going to take it to the ironing board and we're going to push the fabric through that little rectangle and we're going to press it onto the back. So here you're going to try to do a really good job pressing the fabric so that on the front it is nice and even. So take your time, no rush, and even on the tops there's a little bit, about a ½ inch of the pocket should be coming out, and everything should lay nice and flat. Depending on your fabric, you might need to use a lot of steam. This fabric didn't want to iron as well, so I just shot it with a bunch of steam. My Oliso has amazing steam function, so it worked really well, and this is how it's going to look on the outside and the inside. So now we're going to create the little piece of fabric that looks like the pocket. So you're going to flip it over and then flip it back and fold it so that the fold lines up nicely with the other side. And we're going to give that, again, a nice little steam. So what you're going to do is we're actually going to take that little triangle, you know, where we cut open the rectangle. There's that little triangle flap at the top. We're actually going to sew that to tack it to the pocket. I'll show you that in the next step. But then after, we're going to sew a top stitch all the way around that rectangle, and that's going to set everything into place. So make sure that it looks really nice from the front side, and if there's any little puckers in the corner, it's because you didn't cut that rectangle open wide enough, and you're going to need to cut it a little closer to the corner threads. But if not, and it all looks good, we're just going to go and sew that little rectangle to, or the triangle to, a part of the pocket. We're going to lift it up and sew it. We're not going to sew it onto the front panel of the jacket. And then after, we're going to do that top stitch all the way around the rectangle, and we're going to do that from the front. Make sure that that pocket piece behind is laid flat the way it was, and it's not like flipped under or anything. And we're going to be very meticulous because we are going to see these stitches. If you want to use a matching thread, you know, be mindful of that. I found a beautiful purple thread actually that worked perfectly. So I really like the end result. So now we're going to finish off our pocket by putting the other pocket piece, and we're just going to put those with the right sides together. It should fit nicely, and then you're just going to pin all the way around and then sew all the way around. I'm going to be using my regular sewing machine to do this, but if you want to make sure everything is good, you can use your serger, so it's up to you. but we are going to lift the pocket away from the front of the jacket and sew all the way around. So it's going to be a little bit interesting to be able to do this, but it's not too complicated once you start doing it. But I'm super excited. I'm making the Greestyle bomber jacket. So this is the first part of it. So stick around to see how the rest of it goes. I will definitely be sharing the process in my YouTube shorts. I don't typically make my YouTube videos in a vertical format, but I wanted to show you guys the whole process of it. So I'm super excited to move on to the next step, and I think it looks really good. So I hope that you enjoyed this little video. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Come over to Instagram and TikTok. I'm over there very active all the time, sharing my projects, and I'll see you guys next time.